truly, he's international. He's not what you call, how people just put international on their church. No, he is a world leader, and he is wanted all over the world, all over the nations, really. Up Spain, Japan, right, India, that's right, Italy, just to name a few. So that's right. So he is truly all over the world, and we just honor our pastor, Prophet Willie Fortune, and we pray for him. We cover the man of God as he travels abroad, as he travels in these different cities and nations, and we have to cover him. We have to intercede for him. Amen. And truly,
greetings, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Growing in Grace. I'm your humble host, Chico Whitaker. Before we go into the throne of grace, I'll be reading today from 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, and verses 1 through 7. So if you'd like to get out your Bibles and follow along with me, you can. Now we will go into the throne of grace. Heavenly Father, welcome. Heavenly Father, thank you for blessing us, Lord, today. Thank you for giving us the strength to get up, Lord. Lord, bless the sick and afflicted today. Heal their bodies and touch their souls. Feed the hungry, Lord. And those that are racked with pain in their bodies, heal their bodies and comfort their soul. Comfort the bereaved, Lord. Those that are lonely, Lord. Bless them, Lord, with a companion or a relative, that they will come back and spend more time with them and fellowship with them. Save the lost at any cost. These blessings we ask in Jesus' name, and in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. Good afternoon. You're tuning in to Growing in Grace, and I'm your host, Chico Whitaker. Like I said, we was going to be coming to you from Timothy, the 2nd chapter, Timothy 2, 2 Timothy 2, chapter 3. And it reads like this. This know also, in the last days, perilous times shall come. Perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own self, covenant, boasters, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy. Okay. Why are we having perilous times? I'm going to give you several reasons why. When I was a young boy, raised by a single parent, my mother raised 6 children. But she taught us the love of God and to fear God. And most of all, worship God. So every Sunday, we would head to the church. A lot of times, we would be sleepy and didn't feel like going to church. But my mother would take us to church. When she had to work, my grandmother and her husband moved from Memphis, Tennessee, by way of Trula, Mississippi, and they stayed with us for a while. While they were here, can we go to a station break for a moment, please? Yes. with me to church. Nowadays, as we get older, we are consumed by electronics, our social media, television, friends, dating, or drugs. And we don't have time for church. Just a moment. Let me take this caller. Hello, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello?
Go ahead, Vicki. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning. This is Vicki Adams calling.
Hi, Vicki. You tuned in to Growing in Grace. I understand you have an event coming up this weekend. Would you like to tell us about it, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to be at the Joseph Walker Williams Center this Saturday, the 19th, from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock. This is going to be our very first Men and Boys Read event.
Yes.
And listen, we're excited about it. We've got some wonderful men who are going to be reading to boys. And parents have been asking me all along if they can bring the girls. Of course, you can bring the girls, but the reading materials and all of the activities around the reading for this event is going to be directed specifically towards boys between the ages of 5 and 12.
Vicki, why was this event set up? And can you give us a little more detail, please?
Oh, sure. Now, first of all, I want everyone in the audience to know that I am an educator. And I was speaking with some other educators, and we had a major concern about this new Michigan law. And I don't know if the parents in the audience are aware of it, but this is the first year that the law takes effect. And if a student cannot read or demonstrate they can read by the end of the third grade when they take the M-STEP test, they're going to be retained. Now, for the city of Detroit, only 12% of the students passed the reading test last year. So that means we're talking about 88% or close to 98% of the students possibly being retained. And, you know, it's one of those things where no one seems to be talking about it. And it was something that bothers me because I'm a big proponent of literacy and children reading. Also, there's a concern about boys reading. It's been a concern for a very long time. It appears that boys kind of shut down with reading by the time they get to the third grade.
Right.
So the purpose of one of the goals of the program is for boys to see men actually do the reading. I believe that one of the problems with our young boys is that they rarely see men actually reading books. And I don't know about you, but when I grew up, my grandfather and my father, they used to all read the newspaper. We actually saw them visibly reading. And we're just hoping that if young boys, young men, can see men reading, it'll encourage and motivate them to do the same thing. We got a wonderful program laid out for the children. We also have something I think is very exciting. Christopher Paul Curtis, he's a world-renowned author from Flint, wrote many books, but he's mostly known for The Watsons Go to Birmingham and another book entitled Bud Not Buddy. But he's an African-American author, and like I said before, he's won many awards. He's known all over the world, and he'll also be there speaking. So we just look forward to people coming in and enjoying themselves. Bring those boys.
Okay, Vicki, why do you think kids are not reading more? Do you think they're spending too much time on the social media, the electronics, or watching cartoons? When my kids was in school, both of them was grown now. One is deceased. But when they was in elementary, their teachers, in the summertime, they will have them to come up there and enroll in a reading program. And when they get done, they get some coupons for Pizza Hut or something. But
absolutely.
Now times it don't seem like the parents are educating the kids. They send them to school, expect the school to do it all, and we have a responsibility to see if they have homework or to help them and everything.
Absolutely. Well, the children have they have many more options than we used to have.
Yes.
And they take advantage of the options for things like the video games or, they do all kinds of things on the cell phones. They are into social media. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things, but there's a limit to everything. We shouldn't be allowing our students and our children to put down books and not read just because they have a video game or they have a television or they have a cell phone. Children need to read more. And it's actually, if you want to produce good readers, you just have to have the children read. Once they learn how to do it or you start buying things that they enjoy reading, then you'll find that we'll start having more students read, more boys read, and I think they'll start to do better on things like the standardized tests. They're going to take every year. It doesn't go away. So I'm encouraging parents to not only come out to the event, but after the event. By the way, I did want to say we're going to have a couple of tutoring companies there. So if you feel your child needs additional support, there'll be someone there for the parents to speak with and possibly, sign up their children so they can, get support outside of those 2 hours. And you're right about one thing. The teachers can't do it all themselves. Parents are a big part of it. They may not be able to do it as well. I had one parent tell me something that I knew about. We also have a very high literacy rate among adults in Detroit. The father himself was concerned about his 2-year-old son, and, you just kind of assume many people can read. But when he told me, and he was a young man, he wasn't, an older gentleman. He was, 25, 26, maybe 30. He said he couldn't read. So he was concerned about his son being able to read. So we've got a lot of work to do in the city of Detroit to produce a culture of readers. Right now, the focus is on our children because it's going to be a big hit if we get 90% of our third-grade students not passing that MSTEP test.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, very concerned, but at the same time, this event is designed to motivate boys, and we're hoping they walk away inspired.
Mm-hmm. I've been saying for the last 30 years, I used to say education helps the nation. I used to say education saves the nation, but I have since revived and say education helps the nation, but salvation saves the soul. And when we was coming up raising our kids, me and my wife would always take our kids to the PTA meetings. We take them to Parents Teachers Conference, or I volunteer for the LSCO and everything, so I can understand what was going on in school, and also I have an open door with my my kids' teacher and everything. So if they was weak in something, we can get right on it and everything.
Absolutely. We need parents to be involved one way or the other. One wonderful thing that I can say that is just inspiring to me is the number of men who are taking times out of their busy schedules. I mean, men who are working full-time, some men working 2 jobs, to take the time to actually come out and read. And, it doesn't take a long time. Some of them are going to come by and read and then go on to work, which is just absolutely fabulous because they feel the need is important. So we want our parents to know that there are people in the community who want to support and help the children get from where they are now to where they have the potential to go. But we also want parents to understand, you got to get in there and do that work and make sure your child is where they need to be. Talk to those teachers, get additional help if you need support. Read to your children. Make sure that your children are reading themselves. So we got a long way to go, but I believe that we can get there. If everybody just kind of pulls together, it takes a village. That phrase may sound cliche-ish to some people, but it is still the absolute truth. It takes a village to get this done, and we want our children to be successful.
Right. Let me ask you something. What do you feel about the No Child Left Behind law? What do you think about that?
Okay, well, now the No Child Left Behind law is passed. We're talking now about the House, I think it's Bill 4822. That's specifically for Michigan. That particular law is the one that kicks in with the third grade rule. But what schools in the state of Michigan, in terms of standards, are using right now, as what we call the Common Core standards. And I'm glad you mentioned that because parents actually need to educate themselves on what the Common Core standards are. What's good about it is that you can go online, just Google Common Core standards, and you can actually see what is expected for your child to learn every single year. And that's what they're tested on. So it's not a difficult thing to do. Like I said before, it's the Common Core. You go online. You can look at it, you can study it, you can discuss it with your child if you have to, discuss it with your child's teacher. But that is what's determining what's being taught in schools in Michigan, not only with reading, but with math and science and social studies.
Right. Okay.
And in terms of how I feel about it, I feel that, there has to be some kind of standard. I don't have a problem with standards, but very often we get into situations where we have the standards, but the children don't get the support that they need. If the children are receiving the support they need so they can be successful, I don't have problems with standards. But we've got a lot of problems in the state of Michigan in terms of Michigan doing this job with reading. Right now, we are ranked, I think, within the bottom 10% of states for students passing reading. So we have quite a bit of work to do in our state as well. So it's not so much the standard. It's if the children are being taught, and that depends on your school's curriculum. Is your child's school, do they have a curriculum that is in line with the standards? That's actually one major question parents can ask. You go to your school and ask, is your curriculum in line with the state standards? Because if it's not, then the children probably aren't going to do very well. And then parents can also educate themselves on what their children need to learn, so that by the time the MSTEP rolls around in April, towards April and May, they'll be ready for it.
Right. You said a mouthful, but some people think the No Child Left Behind law is designed for failure because they feel that if a child can't read, do math, or arithmetic, and it's time for them to graduate, the school just push them aside and let them graduate. When we was coming up, we had to have a certain amount of hours. I don't remember, 160, 180. But also, we have a lot of public schools competing against these private and parochial schools, and some of these schools are not tested, and I hear that some of the people don't have, some of the teachers doesn't have a degree and everything for the academy school.
Right.
Detroit is losing a lot of, students to these schools is not really tested and everything and proven, they're much better than the Detroit public schools. Well, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I do believe that all schools should be held to the same standard. Now, I'm talking about public schools. It's different when you're comparing parochial schools or religious institutions or private schools to a public school. But if the school is a public school, which means public charter schools as well as traditional public schools, I believe they should all be held to the same standard. Absolutely.
Correct. Back to your event for this weekend. For those that don't know about the Joseph William Center, can you give them a location on the west side and where is it at?
Yes, it's at 8431 Rosa Parks Boulevard, and it's between Claremont and Euclid in the Virginia Park community. Most people have a pretty good idea where that's located. But again, it's the event is October the 19th from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We would like for you to be there as early as possible. And I'll give the address again if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, 8431 Rosa Parks Boulevard. And that's in Detroit between Claremont and Euclid. If you would like a phone number, I can leave a phone number with you. If your listeners have a question, they can call me.
Go right ahead, please.
Okay, 734-883-2514.
Okay. And for those that's not familiar with that area, or if you're on the west side, it's on Rosa Parks, which was renamed 12th. And those that used to go to the Farmer Jack's over there, it's right next door to the former Farmer Jack's. I don't know what's the name of the store now, but the Joseph Walker Williams Center is right next door from what old Farmer Jack's used to be. And that was between the Boulevard and Claremont. And I believe she said on Euclid Street.
Between Euclid and Claremont, yes.
Right. And is this event that's pretty successful this weekend? Will this be an annual event every year or quarterly?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
go
I
ahead.
am so surprised by just the support. And I'm being asked by the men. I've been told we should do it just once a year. We should do it more than once a year. So the plan is to sit down after the event and see what we can continue to do.
Right. That sounds pretty good. If you could elaborate, would you like to name some of the vendors will be there, or if not, you can go into something else?
Well, I really would like to give a shout out to our team. I have a wonderful team. This is the very first time that we've actually pulled something like this together. And Mercy Jones, Sharon Adams, Julian Witherspoon III, those are the three people who have worked so hard with me to get this up and going. And then we've also had other people from the community, people who just heard about the event, donating time and volunteering. We've got a young man coming down who's a positive rap artist. His name is Trey Bance. We have a storyteller who'll be there, Mr. Graham. We have a wonderful comedian. I don't know if you don't know him, you know him Saturday. He's hilarious. His name is Josiah Jones. And these are all people who have pitched in. We do have a couple of extra vendors who will be there selling products we make boys will love. I've got a company there selling slime. I know boys just love that slime. So they'll be there. And like I said before, some of the tutoring companies, Kumon and another tutoring company, oh my goodness, just slipped my mind. But they will also be there and to service parents if you need help.
Right.
Okay? And we have a couple of extra spaces. Oh, I do also want to mention that Michigan Bible College will be there giving boys free haircuts. So I want to give a shout out to them for that as well.
Right. Now, what if there are any teachers in the audience or educators would like to volunteer? How can they get involved?
Okay, they now just call me, and we still have needs. We have a couple of greeters. If they would like to be a greeter on that day, that's fine. But if they were trying to you're talking about teachers who want to work with us as time goes on.
Right.
Yeah, they can call me, and listen, we'll find something for you to do. It's a whole lot of work.
Amen.
But it's for a great cause.
Right. Give that address out again, please.
Sure. It's 8431 Rosa Parks Boulevard.
Yes.
It is in Detroit between Claremont and Euclid. It's at the Recreation Center. So there's a whole shopping area there. You mentioned the old Farmer Jack. There's a Family Dollar there now. A beauty supply store, there's a Chinese restaurant, and there is also a Spartan's grocery store. But that's in one part of the mall area. Then next to it is the recreation center.
Okay. Vicki, I don't know if I asked or if the listeners might want to know, is this event gratis or is it a charge to come?
No, it's absolutely free. We just want you to come on down. No charge at all.
Amen. So what more can you ask for? If you don't have nothing to do this Saturday, go down and learn more about what they're doing on the west side, or how it can help your kids improve their education, or if you just want to get more detail.
Okay, come down and watch those men read. I don't think too many people have seen. Our children haven't seen men reading, and that's what we want them to see, men reading.
Right. So I encourage everyone that have children, grandchildren, or just want to see your kids improve in reading or in their grades, please participate in this event. And if you have any information, you can call Vicki. If there's anything else you'd like to say? Was there anything else you'd like to say? Okay, I want to thank you for tuning in to Growing in Grace. Thank you, Vicki. I asked anybody that wanted, information and call Vicki for more detail, or come to the Joseph Walker Center in Rosa Parks. And until next week, you've been watching Growing in Grace, and I'm your host, Chico Whitaker. Thank you, and Maranathas.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Welcome, everyone. It's our second season. Yeah, that's right. The Brother Mike's Second Chance Show. All new show designed for the world to see. We welcome the second chance stories and testimonies. All are welcome this time around. So make sure you bring your talent, gifts, music, arts, beats, and sweets. Sponsors, you're welcome too. As we embark upon this new season, we will cover all topics and give platforms to the entertainment world and the Motor City. It's about to go down the second time around. Visit www.brothermike.com for more information. And make sure you tune in every second and fourth Sunday at 5 p.m. on WHPR TV 33. It's the Brother Mike Show.
Hey, welcome to the Brother Mike Second Chance Show. Of course, you know this is the day that the Lord has made. And as for me and my house, I will serve the Lord. Thank you for tuning in to Brother Mike's show today. God has just been really good. I'd just like to give you a few words of encouragement today. I know perhaps this week might have been a little weird because of the weather. On one part of the world, we've seen storms, and the Lord brought earthquakes, and he brought tornadoes. And then on the other side of the world where we live, we had sunshine and rain. But I just like for everybody to send out prayers their way, especially the Bahama family, our Bahama family, for everything that they're going through. This tornado just tore up their land. We don't realize the things that God has in store for us and the things that he allows us to walk through. And sometimes it just don't seem right, but it's all God. It's all in his hands, and we're grateful. And we continue to pray our way through every situation. Just know that you all are not alone. Detroit, Michigan, this world is praying for you all. It's been heavy on my heart. They're showing devastation all over the news. And I look at it and I say, that's my life about 10 years ago. And look at what God has done to this day. So we are so thankful and grateful to know that we can put our trust in the Lord, and he will work it out mysteriously. Somehow he will work it out. Just keep on praying. The Bible says pray and keep praying. Pray without ceasing. We have a great show lined up for you today, and I'm so glad you, my viewing audience, you have tuned in to one of the best shows here at WHPR. I call it one of the best shows. I'm very grateful. The boss is in the house. I just seen him walking around here. Big ups and a shout out to Brother R.J. Watkins, one of the only black stations in the city of Highland Park. We thank God for this man. He's truly a man of integrity, and he walks with favor. And thank you, Lord, for my favor today. We have a very exciting show lined up for you today. Prophetess LaWanda Ingram is here. I've been trying to get her here for some time, and I finally carved out a little time for us today. We're going to sit down. We're going to get up close and personal with her, and she's going to let us know what's happening in her life. We'll be right back. You're tuned in. Don't touch that dial unless you're turning it up. This is Brother Mike saying welcome once more. We'll be back.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. You know, most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Shabri wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Take the first step towards staying in your home by going down to the Wayne County Treasurer's office on the 5th floor of the International Building in Greektown.
Stop by today to learn more about our payment plans and especially the newly extended interest rate reduction program.
Already in the payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in Rite Aid stores and community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
Coffee Man is doing it again. Brother Mike has placed himself in the cup of what's next. Come join us for live entertainment Thursday, September 26th here at WHPR TV, located at 160 Victor Street in Highland Park. Business opportunity presentation followed by beautiful music by gospel artist Brother Mike Light with host Edgar Loman, special guest Dr. Lee C. Winfrey, senior pastor, and host of the Second Chance Show, Brother Mike. Come join us for live entertainment Thursday, September 26th here at WHPR TV.
Welcome back to the Brother Mike Show. Welcome back to the Brother Mike Show. God bless you today for watching. We thank God for you today. This is truly the day, like I said, that God has designated for you to be blessed. And we hope this show will send some encouragement your way. God is truly good today. When you think about all that you have been through, all that he has brought you through, you can't do anything but just throw up both hands because it could have went a whole nother way. But because of his grace and because of his mercy, it's uncanny towards us, he allowed you to see another day. And we thank God today. We're going over to the Bible-believing Christian church by way of Bishop Jeffrey A. Hatchett today. And we are sitting down with one of his golden girls. Now I'm speaking of none other than Prophetess LaWanda Ingram. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Glad to be here.
You are radiant and beautiful as usual.
Thank you.
How's it going? What's up, baby?
It's going great. I mean, you know, after the busy schedule down at the Thomas Dorsey National Convention,
you had
trying to get my schedule together.
And she is representing her own talk show, which airs Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
And it is God Said It, That Settles It.
Correct.
So if God said it and that settles it, what are we and who are we to judge?
That's true. That is so true.
So tell us all about God Said It, That Settles It.
Well, God Said It, That Settles It has a history.
Okay, give us a little bit.
And it was like a real simple history. I was sitting down and I was watching the news. And story after story after story, it was all negative. It was nothing positive for like at least a good 8 minutes strong. And I was like, this is just crazy, you know. And then I sat there and I was like, well, God, I want to be able to do something. Or I want to be able to, because some of the stories they were covering were things where people, like one of it was a little kid that tried to kill themselves. And a gentleman that killed a young lady out of, because she didn't want to give him her name and stuff like that. So, and I said, God, what is it that I can do to help the community or the world to help those who are in situations or circumstances and they just don't know how to get out or how to go to the Bible or just talk with someone about it. And the Holy Spirit had me write on a piece of paper, God said it, that settles it.
And that was born.
And it was born then. It was born then.
That's an incredible testimony. Incredible testimony.
Well, you know, to God be the glory on that. Because
Yes.
I wouldn't have never thought to do something like that.
Yeah, and that name is very unique. That name is very unique. And what you all stand for over there.
Oh, yeah.
Is something that's changing lives. And that's what the Second Chance Show is all about. We're all about changing lives.
Exactly.
And inspiring others and encouraging others.
Yes.
So what's been happening? I see you covered the Thomas Dorsey Music Workshop of America when they were here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a really big event, like a national,
was a
international
national
type of event. It was people from all walks of life. And what it is, now they call it the National Convention of Gospel Choirs and Courses. It originated from Thomas Dorsey, the original Thomas Dorsey convention.
Okay.
And God blessed me to be able to have the opportunity to be part of the social media coverage to the celebrities, to the vendors that were there, to the attendees of the convention, first-time attendees, some that travel and go every year with them.
Mm-hmm.
And next year they're going to be in Orlando, Florida. So I had a great experience. I didn't take it lightly. I got in my lane, stayed in my lane, and what they allowed me to do, I did, and I got a chance to interview Mr. Donald Lawrence,
And Marcy
Bishop Marvin
Sapp.
Sapp, and
All those are my brothers.
Lady Lisa
Page, yeah,
Lockhart,
yeah.
and the Clark sisters, and the other gentleman who sings "Worth It," Brian Courtney Wilson.
Yeah, my mentor.
And all of them were just so nice. Vicki Winans was my friend Vicki Winans. She was there. I was just able to interview them, then interview the vendors, some who it was their first time there, but they had a great experience. Then I was able to cover the daily sermons, the morning sermons, the early morning service, because they were starting like at 6 a.m. and they were going to like midnight musicals.
They had that old school down home.
Yes, and I mean, it was just a great time. And then Dr. Gentry, she's such a sweetheart.
A
jewel,
Christian,
yes. And she's
Christian world.
very humble lady.
Yeah.
And it is her goal to make sure that people understand that gospel music is the core to life.
It is.
And people
Soundtrack
think,
to our hearts.
right, people think that it's just about going there and learning to sing, but it's more than that. They had drama, they had classes, they had young people learning how to operate behind the scenes, the TV, television, and social media like this. And then they featured artists who wrote their own songs, and they featured their songs in
They
the...
had a master class. Donald Lawrence came and did
Mr. Donald Lawrence had a master class, and he gave them their he wanted to talk about technique, their singing technique, and it was just a great time. And it was an entire week, and it brought a lot of revenue to the city of Detroit.
Well, that was great. That was great. Enough of that. Let's get to you and your life. What's going on with you and your life now?
Well,
how's the show doing?
The show is just doing great. God
And
is.
What channels and how can we?
Well, it's Channel 20, Comcast, every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Through Bell Global Network.
Speak a little closer to
Through Bell Global Network. Elder Anton Bell, he's my producer on that show.
Okay, I understand.
And I think he used to work here. And he's such a jewel too. And at one time I had said I was like, I don't want to do this, because most people don't know I retired from the Air Force 28 years.
Yeah, give us
And so I was in the Air Force for 28 years, so I look all petite and everything, but I was retired as a master sergeant.
So you were on the front line?
Front lines. I went to Desert Storm.
Did you?
So
that's so interesting.
you know, this show has helped me to a point where I can share
your life experience.
Not only my life experience, but I can share what people are going through depression, because they had said, well, oh, she has PTSD, you know, but I know that God's a healer.
How did that affect your life?
And it affected me in a way that I didn't want to talk with people. I didn't want to do the show anymore because I actually was doing the show before I retired.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of some of the military, my comrades, they encouraged me to keep on doing it. But that's where I got my help from, you know, because life in war is so different than civilian life. Life in the military is so different. And
wow. I can imagine what you saw.
And the thing, oh yes.
The things you saw and what
so
you went through.
It's you know, we complain about the weather being too hot, or we complain about we don't like how the paint on the wall looks in a room or a house. But when you go overseas and you see people that don't have places to live, you see kids that you know they're starving, but you can't do nothing about it because you're over there to do what the military sent you to do. So you can't stop and say, you know, I want to help this kid because you got kids that got bombs attached to them, and it's just it is an experience that I don't think I would want to repeat that part, you know. But it is worth. America is worth fighting for to keep us safe here. But over there, it's hard because no one's fighting for them.
Yet,
so, but God's still good.
You through.
He brought me through, and that's why I say God said it, that settles it.
And that's my favorite saying. You went through the fire, but you don't smell nothing like smoke.
I didn't get burnt, and I just thank God for that.
You didn't get burnt. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego went through the fire.
And they didn't get burnt.
But they didn't get burnt.
And you know, with my show...
That's just like God, right?
Yeah, God, I try to let them... Because a lot of people, when they hear God said it, that settles it. They think that I'm constantly talking about God, 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 God. But I also, what I'm doing with my show is I'm looking at modern situations and circumstances that people go through on a regular. And then I try to give biblical guidance from the Bible itself. And then let's talk about what you're going through or the circumstances. Because right now, it's so much depression and people wanting to, that suicide demon.
Yes.
The Holy Spirit keeps putting that in my spirit that it's real, and shows like yours and mine, some people won't see God no more or hear nothing from the Lord no more than tuning in on the TV show. And then they'll stop and they'll pause and they'll say, oh, let me hear what they got to say, because they might not go to church. But at least they'll hear something that'll stop them from wanting to do what they were about to do to themselves.
And I vowed that, you know, I've never been a Christian that every other word was Jesus and God, because people ought to see that on you.
Exactly.
You don't have to exude that and say that at all times in every other sentence. And then you turn around and they see you somewhere else and you acting crazy and a fool. So I just think that the Lord said, you be a light in dark places. So we are to be a light for the Lord.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful. He will work it out and he will make a way, and you will be distinguished.
I'm a witness.
You will be distinguished.
I am a witness.
Amongst the others.
Yes.
Because God is just like that. But tell us about church. What's happening over at
Bible
Christian
Believing?
Center? Yes.
Oh, well, I tell you, he gives powerful, Bishop Jeffrey Allen Hatcher, he gives powerful messages every Sunday. And it's not a big church, but it's a church full of love and genuine.
And
they're genuine and integrity. And what I love about the spirit and the members of the church is they're one big family, and they put their arms around each other, and they try to embrace. If someone's going through something, let's help them. You know, it's not a $100 seating arrangement. You don't you don't sit up here because you got $100. No clicks, none of that. One big family. So, and he's got a lot of things that's coming up. He has a Christmas gala that's coming up in December.
Tell us a little bit about it.
And the Christmas gala is round about like his birthday, so they kind of give like a little Christmas. It's not like a banquet setting. It's just like a Christmas gala, and they come together. They have good fun. We sit and we eat and just have a great time, you know. So he has that coming. We're going to Indianapolis. He has to preach out there in October. And then he has Apostle Alfonso Smith that's coming October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And he's going to do a conference there, the importance of prosperity now. So they're doing great things there. Then there's other big dollar things going on over there that I can't say right
So
now.
you're
But
traveling. You're a traveling prophetess, and you're on the road a lot.
yes, I
And
do.
you're traveling to different churches, spreading the good news of the gospel. Give me an instance of one of your greatest experiences that you have encountered while you doing this traveling
Okay.
ministry. Because a lot of people want to do it, but they're hesitant. They don't know what to expect. So speak a word of encouragement into that person that has that on their heart to do.
Well, what I would say is step out on faith and do it. Don't have fear, because in the Bible it says God does not give us a spirit of fear. And a lot of times where I'm at in my life right now, I give God the glory because I stepped out on faith. And if you don't step out on faith, you won't be able to attain what you're trying to get or what God has for you. And one of my experiences that I remember so well, as if sitting right here, is when I went to preach for Bishop Beverly and Mother Beverly. They're on Joseph Campbell. I was actually here in Detroit, and a young teenage young boy. I did the message, and then I let the Holy Spirit lead me, and I prophesied in this young man's life. But I just let him know that what I was seeing was I kept seeing him in a casket.
Oh wow!
But he didn't stay down. Every time I would see him, he'd be laying there, and then a little blink, and he'd be rose up. So I said, you didn't lay down in the casket. The Lord wouldn't let you stay, and you didn't stay. I said, but you gotta drop. You gotta drop some of the people you're hanging around. I said, God wants you to know He didn't save your life for nothing. Didn't know this young man, and the Beverleys were his grandparents, and his mother wasn't there. And I told him, I said, well, God just wants you to know, don't try to fit in with the crowd. Let the crowd fit in with you, because God did something for you in your life. And then it was 2 Sundays after that, I just stopped in to visit, and the young man's mother pressed her way to the church. She wanted to meet me, and she told me, and she grabbed me, and she hugged me, she had tears, and she said because her son literally died in the hospital. And she said he was on the table. They covered him up with the sheet and everything. And when they went out and they came back in the room, she said her son was sitting straight up. And that was only God. That was only God. I never met him before in my life, but I've been friends with him ever since. And I remember that because God is awesome.
Yes,
and
he
uses little people like me to just tell something.
Oh,
and she said now her son is just doing great. He's on his way to college. It's just awesome. So I remember that. I remember that. Even though I've spoke over in front of large crowds, I remember that one encounter, that one-on-one.
Wow. And do you remember where you were?
I was at Bishop Beverly's church on Joseph Campbell.
Oh, okay.
On Joseph Campbell, that church.
And so, aside from all that, you also sing with Dr. Tony Booker.
Yes, I do. I heard she was on your show.
She's been by here, baby. We experienced
I heard
her.
she was on your show,
Yeah, I had a blast with her.
I love
God
her.
bless Dr. Tony Booker.
I love her. You know, she's down to earth.
She's real. She's real.
And when singing behind her is very unique. I mean, a lot of people, it might seem like, how she performs and everything.
Right.
Some people might think it's too much, but I think what she's actually is showing you is where God brought her from and where she's at now. And I like the way she performs. I like the way that she ministers to and interacts to the crowd. And I was still singing with her, and we did Lauren Hopper. We did one of his plays. One of them was Don't Call Me Pookie, and the other one was it was Don't Call Me Pookie, and I got to remember the other one, but that one was nice too. And we Spare Change. It was Spare Change, and had a great time there too.
We have a great big occasion coming up here on Thursday.
What is that?
And I think we have a clip of what's going on. I'll be a part of the Coffee Man show.
Oh, I don't want to miss this.
Which is one of the first people that embraced me when I became a part of this WHPR family. I'm indebted to this young man.
Oh, okay.
He was really like a mentor to me, and he's having a big celebration on Thursday. I think we have a clip. We'll show a little bit of the clip.
Well, congratulations to you.
Praise the Lord. We're moving on.
coffee man is doing it again. Brother Mike has placed himself in the cup of what's next. Come join us for live entertainment Thursday, September 26th here at WHPR TV, located at 160 Victor Street in Highland Park. Business opportunity presentation followed by beautiful music by gospel artist Brother Mike Light with host Edgar Loman, special guest Dr. Lee C. Winfrey, senior pastor, and host of the Second Chance Show, Brother Mike. Come join us for live entertainment Thursday, September 26th here at WHPR TV.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I am sitting here with Prophetess LaWanda Ingram, who has just been a joy, a joy, a joy. She has brought so much sunshine in this place today.
Praise
A beautiful, beautiful spirit. You can tell that the Lord has covered her and kept her. She's been through service, and she's been through the war, and she's been through the fire. She's been through the storm, but she's here with us right now. Is there somebody you'd like to shout out? Your family? Anybody you'd like to shout out?
Well, you know, I just like to say to the young generation, embrace your parents. Embrace your parents while you have them. My dad, bless him, he's 93. He'll be 94 this year.
Oh, wow.
And I just see generations that they need to do what the Bible says, honor your parents so your days will be long.
Oh,
so I just wanted to shout out to my dad, Deacon Isaiah Clark. He goes to Freedom
Amen.
Missionary Baptist Church. But I
He's
just
been a
thank
deacon
God
a
for
long
him.
time.
He's been a deacon a long time. He's outliving
my.
people. He's outliving deacons.
We have that in common. We were both raised by deacons.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at that.
yes. But my dad has been sick. He's beat cancer 4 times.
Oh,
I know what God can do.
Oh,
You
yes.
can't tell me
That's
what
right.
God can do. This man has beat cancer 4 times.
Oh, wow.
He's in a rehab now. He's doing really good. Hopefully after this procedure Wednesday, he'll be coming home. And I've been right there with him by his side. You know, it's something when you were raised with both parents.
Oh, yes.
We take stuff like that for granted.
That's true.
But you blessed. If the Lord allowed you to grow up and have both your parents
That's true. That's
throughout
true.
your whole life. And my dad and my mom, which we lost at 16, but my dad, they was together over 70 years.
Oh,
and I thought
wow.
that would take him, down, but he handled it like a pro. And so I call him my hero because a lot of people wouldn't have been able to deal with it.
That's
after
true.
losing somebody he said, I don't know this world without her. He said, I've never known the world without your mom.
Oh, wow.
But we prayed our way through, not to be a downer, but it's just a testimony for that next person that just might be going through that.
That's true.
You can make it.
Yes.
You can do it. Continue to pray and keep praying people around you. Continue to keep positive words and messages in your life. Continue to seek the Lord on every hand. Every time you get weary, he said he would comfort you.
That's
and
true.
He does that. We're going through a series of bereavement. One of my choir members, dear friends, I'd like to just shout her family out, Marie, sung Sunday. Just to show you that this could be your last time.
That's true.
She actually prayed the prayer Sunday before the choir marched in, and on Monday had a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
And she is no longer with us. Beautiful spirit.
pray
She
for her
stood next to
family.
me in the tenor section and sung every first Sunday we sang together with the Hallelujah Chorus. And I just like to let her family know that we're praying with you as we go through this series of bereavement. On a brighter note, God is still yet faithful and he's yet good.
Yes.
And he will bring you through. I promise you, he will bring you. Put your trust in God. And for all my second chancers out there, I know we went to church today. Every now and then, I'm going to take y'all to church. We don't just open our platform for independent artists. We sit down with prophets and people, men and women of God all the time. And sometimes it's time for a rhema word. So today was the day for you to have a rhema word. We thank you for tuning in. We hope you've been blessed. Once again, this Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Tune in. Brother Mike will be sitting down, and catching up with one and only coffee man, Edgar Lowe's. And then that evening, I'm in concert, a little intimate setting here at the station. I'm bringing my band, the singers, the entire. You're all invited if you like. Come on through. And don't forget, God is a God of second chances. Until we meet again, see you later for now.
I think Wayne County Community College District is the perfect place for any student.
We are all a big melting pot and sharing different experiences.
Everyone was like really friendly and they're like giving you their time. I know someone here will always be there to support me.
Arminalda Carrick, Bosnia.
Sandra Gonzalez, Mexico. Minhas Jakia, Bangladesh.
Dennis Carrick, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
You're watching WHPS TV Detroit Live.
Wake up, Detroit. I'm Joanne Watson, and this is your wake-up call.
When a brown girl child is born, the earth shifts. The sun is at half-mast. The moon waits for her first cry. The ancestors set the table. The flowers turn red as blood. This is your land, continent daughter, with tree trunk legs and branches for arms. This is your soil, black and fertile as your eyes facing an apartheid Jim Crow current past memory. Some of us begin the removal of shackles at birth. We grow into the armor of struggle quickly. We brew courage in our tea, blend bravery into our Sunday dinners. Joanne Watson, you understand nation building is not a part-time job. This dedicated life is sometimes lonely, a vulnerable choice, but it is the only way you know how to operate. You are wired for the movement. In your black women bones, even when tired, still fighting, still organizing, still singing morning spirituals. You were born to lead. Even in your own family, the eldest of 10 children born to Jefferson and Lestine, you made Damon, Nefertari, Stephen, Maya. Her children always knew she was larger than life. When you are a woman in the movement, you take the children with you on the journey. You bring the babies with you to your college classes. When you travel to Ghana for the first time, it will be with your daughters in tow. When you are a fearless, nationalist thinking mama, mothering never stops with your own babies. 30 godchildren and mentees across the globe. The daughter of a ministering mother is already ordained for good trouble. A seer, a prophetic young student preparing for her lifelong role as servant to her own community. When your purse was snatched in a Farmer Jack parking lot many years ago with your kids' tickets to Run DMC in the purse, you made sure they still got to that concert and even hosted Melly Mel and the Furious Five in your living room, because queens make it look easy. When you were a single mom, people would tell you what you can't do. Instead, you moved to New York City with all 4 of your C's to do your necessary work with the YWCA, because queens make it look easy. Ghana, Togo, South Africa, where is your heart, Mama Watson? Nurturing spirit, baking melt in your mouth, homemade biscuits. How many hours do you sleep, Warrior Watson, with endless work ethic and blue-collar blood racing through your veins? How do we say thank you for your work, your time, your heart? We know you will never really retire. There is a fire on the path to freedom. There is smoke. There is sacrifice. There are stories of justice, of women, of Tubman, Sojourner, of Angela, Asada, Coretta, and Merle, and Betty, and Queen Mother Moore. Some of us know we are ancient, that our marrow is laced with legacy, that we are here to bring light to our daughters. Sometimes it just takes one woman, a mother, a grandmother, a Spitfire, griot, a sister, the only woman to lead the NAACP's largest chapter. She, daughter of the movement, of Rosa, of Irma. She was a birth that gave birth to possibility for other other young activists like me, a true D woman, frontline Fatima, Nigerian blood, councilwoman, leader, truth teller, Joanne Watson, social worker, president of the Anti-Clan Network, sister, inspiration, dedicated to the protection of girls and the voices of women wrapped in West African beauty, regal and resilient. Wake up, Detroit. Wake up, South Africa. Wake up, Cuba. Wake up, small business owners. Wake up, White House. Wake up, reparations. Wake up, teachers. Wake up, women. Wake up, schools. Sleeping is not an option when the Honorable Joanne Watson is in the room.
Wake up, Detroit. I'm Joanne Watson. This is your wake-up call. We give God all the praise. Only God is worthy to be praised. I don't know about you. I can't let a day go by without praising His name. We praise God, from whom all blessings flow. It is God who made us and not we ourselves. So what else is there to do in the morning time but to praise the Lord, to say thank you, Lord. Hallelujah, Lord. It is good to give thanks unto the Lord, for He is good, and His mercy endures forever. We've entered October. We've entered fully the fall season, and it's a good time to do inventory of the things that we had planned to accomplish in 2019. Go back and check out your to-do list in January. Go back and look at your goals and your objectives. We are complete with many, many months of 2019, and we have October, November, and December to go. 3/4 of this year has gone. Now, 9 months is all it takes to give birth. That's a gestation period. 9 months is the normal tenure for most school seasons. So 9 months is a good time to have accomplished some critical things in 2019. And the remaining months in 2019, we should hit home with a laser-like precision. We should hit it out the park. We should work on our prayer life, work on our affirmation life, work on strengthening ourselves as children of the Most High God, to align ourselves with the good that is already held in store for us. Do you know that you are a blessing? Do you know that you're an heir to God's throne? Do you know and recognize that you did not come here to be a victim? You have power. You have power within. I want you to take some deep breaths this morning. As you breathe in the air that has come from God, hallelujah, with God who blew the first breath into man. As you breathe in, inhale opportunity, inhale power, inhale the privilege of carrying out those tasks and those ideas that God has planted as seeds in your divine mind this day. Your creativity does not come from you. Your ideas cannot come from you. So the same God that provides the ideas and the thoughts in your divine mind is a God who can help us implement and make those things manifest. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So those thoughts we hold in our minds, then they should be thoughts of good, affirmation. Don't spend your time filling your mind filled with negativity, hostility, anything that is ungodly. Take your mind up to the highest level. When you elevate your mind and dismiss and evict negativity, hostility, those negative thoughts, you rise to another level. All of a sudden, you begin to attract good. All of a sudden, you begin to attract godly people. All of a sudden, you begin to attract a new mindset, new things come into your life, new dimensions, new things unfold. And it's because of the energy surrounding you has changed. So we're in charge of that energy. Nobody can do that for us. Nobody can do that for us. There's somebody wishing and hoping that things will get better. That power to enable your own fortification and multiplication is within you. It is important to start each day taking stock of your blessings, acknowledging all the good that is already in your life. And when we thank God for what is already in our lives that is good, when we acknowledge it, we open the door for more blessings. Have you stopped stopped to say thank you, God, this morning? Have you stopped to acknowledge that you did not have to wake up this morning? Have you thanked God for whatever health you claim today? You ought to say thank you. Whatever wealth you claim today, you ought to say thank you. Whatever your situation is in terms of revenue, thank you. If you have shelter, food, and water, thank you. If you have family, if you have friends that are like family, if you have an opportunity to work in a transportation vehicle to get to work, thank you. If you're in your right mind and you know it, help me now, thank you. If you have the privilege of having a contractual position, thank you. If you are self-employed, if you own your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're making things happen by your own energy, by your own output, thank you. God bless the child that's got his own. It is good. It is good to give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, and the author of good. And because God is so good, we want to start off every day saying, thank you, God. Thank you, God. And our hearts filled with love and honor and respect for the Most High God. It is good to give thanks unto the Lord. And then we want to take time to acknowledge those who have been good to us. Now, maybe there's somebody who was a job reference for you, and you were benefited by their taking the time to write a letter of recommendation or to return a phone call and give you a good job. If you have not said thank you to that person, call them up right now and say thank you. Perhaps you were given a promotion or a boost or a special incentive. Maybe you were given a commendation on the job. And you smiled and shook hands, but you didn't really write a thank you note or say thank you. It's good to say thank you. Maybe someone called your name at church or in your club or organization acknowledging some special efforts that you put forth on behalf of those in need. And you nodded and smiled, but you didn't say thank you. Take the time to say thank you. Remember when Jesus healed 10 and only one came back to say thank you, he asked, where are the other 9? I healed 10. It's important to say thank you. It's an acknowledgement. It formalizes your appreciation. It says to the world, I acknowledge, I am grateful, I am indebted to you, I appreciate you. You didn't have to do it, but you did. In addition to taking the time to send a thank you to everybody who deserves a thank you today, and it may have been 6 months ago, it may have been a year ago, thank you is always in order. Now make a list of those persons who are in your own circle. Maybe their names and numbers are on the contact list on your cell phone. Go through that list and identify anybody that you know needs prayer or that you know needs a visit. Maybe they're in the hospital. Maybe they're in a nursing home. Maybe they are alone, locked behind a set of deadbolts because they're frightened of their surroundings. Maybe they've lost all their loved ones and all they have left are dear friends. Maybe they're sick and shut in and have not been able to come to church in months or years, but they long like-minded, those who love the Lord, who are valuable, who are trustworthy, who are loyal, who are hardworking, who are absent of characteristics of envy and jealousy and laziness, those who are absent of those things that would cause a downturn, but will add to your mobility, your reinforcement, your expansion, your renewal. Invite those persons to come on board. Call a meeting, host it, or invite them to coffee or tea or juice and see how they respond to your project. To invite them to talk about what they can invest, how they see themselves figuring in. 2 plus 2 equals more than 4 when people of like minds come together. It is good to connect and to grow and to enable somebody else's dream to come true, not just yours. When we move outside of ourselves, then our paradigm becomes bolder, it becomes more enhanced, and it becomes a blessing unto the community, broad enough to make a difference and to transform. You have something within you that nobody else can do. There's something unique about you. There is something that is divinely different about you because all of us are made different. And everybody has different gifts. Everyone has different opportunities to serve. Everybody has been given different skills. Everyone has a different kind of button that can be pushed inside of them that creates a fire that will generate miracles. There's something in you that's a gift that can transform your life and other lives right now. We just have to affirm it. We have to see it. I created my maker. Create in me a brighter and deeper understanding. Creator, my maker. Create in me a more divine level of appreciation. Creator, my maker. Create in me deeper insight on how to love and how to forgive. Creator, my maker. Create in me a richer opportunity to serve and to give back. Creator, my maker. Create in me a wonderful opportunity to provide special harmony and friendship to those around me. Creator, my maker. Help me to give more. Help me to share more. Creator, my maker, help me to become an excellent receiver. Creator, my maker, places the Lord will plant. How will you know? Just be still. Just be still. Allow yourself silent time. And say to the Lord silently, here I am, Lord. Use me. Here I am, Lord. Speak to me. Here I am, Lord. Give me my assignment today. There are many scriptures that can help get your mind ready for that silent prayer, that meditation. Psalms 91 is a great one. 2 Chronicles 7:14 is another great one. Joshua 1:9 is a great one. Only be thou strong and courageous. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. It's important for us to take the time and go into that secret place that's discussed in Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. We want to dwell in the secret place of the Most High. And to take time every day, not every now and then, every day. It's like we're breathing every day. We have the energy that is provided by the Most High God every day to move around, to think, to engage. And because we are blessed every day, we ought to say thank you every day. We ought to pray every day. We should meditate every day. We're not looking for any time off from praising God. We're not trying to have any vacation from our connection with the Almighty. As long as we are here, we have work to do. As long as we are here, we are to journey and represent and be ambassadors for Christ. As long as we are here, and as good as God has been to us, we should run to praise Him. We should run to honor and to glorify His name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless your holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless your holy name. We certainly want to invite you to worship with us, meditate with us, pray with us, sing with us at the Westside Unity Church